how you feel people view the situation in Crimea?
Well, it's been relatively calm here in the city centre. To be honest, the violence is now gone, and people are looking to the future. They had their new government announced yesterday. Many of them hoping that this will be a government of national unity, and certainly some of the senior politicians I've spoken to, including the new security chief, has said that they see Russia's actions as a provocation. The new interim president has mirrored those words, and that seems to be the big and that Russia is trying to, in some way, provoke a conflict through its actions in Crimea. And that seems to be the focus of everyone I've spoken to today.
Willem, based on your conversations with Ukrainian officials, is there any doubt in their mind that the forces that have been noted in Ukraine are from Russia?
Well, they've all couched their words very carefully. The new security chief in particular I spoke to recently said that one of the things that he was waiting for was an official report from the country's new intelligence services operating Crimea to confirm whether, in fact, these are Russian troops. At this point, though, it seems a bit of a moot issue because really this is something that everybody is concerned about on the international stage. The reality on the ground may not be as important as some of the rhetoric we're seeing from both the United States and from Russia.
Willem, the president of Ukraine, and I don't mean the one that is currently interim president, but Yanukovych, is there any response to his asylum that's been accepted? He's living in Russia.
Yeah, that was a very interesting moment this afternoon. People were listening to his address he was giving from Rostov-on-Don in Russia, where he's claimed asylum. And most people I spoke to found it pretty absurd. One of them told me that he's clearly a fantaseur, a fantasist. He was talking about a lot of things that many people here now realize not to be true. And it was mostly a mixture of laughter and disdain for him from those I chatted to about it.
Willem, what about the role of the European Union and the United States? In speaking to people, do you get the sense that they are looking to the West as a guarantor of their sovereignty?
A lot of them are saying that. They've said, we have these agreements, including the Budapest Treaty. A lot of them were talking in very much Cold War language about the responsibilities, obligations the West have to them since 1991. And a lot of people on the ground, ordinary people I've been chatting to today, have said that, what's the West likely to really do? Not much. They don't imagine that America or Great Britain or any other NATO allies are actually going to step in militarily. And so a lot of them are quite worried that Russia will indeed gain some kind of an upper hand through its actions here.
Ben Chang, I want to bring you in because Russia has a long history in Crimea, former conflict with the Ottoman Empire. In Crimea right now, if confirmed, if those troops are confirmed as being Russian troops, what options does the president have?
Well, the first thing you would hear officials from the White House say is we don't want to talk about hypotheticals. But if there were confirmation that these anti-Kiev forces or boots on the ground are directly tied, that would be very significant. What we need to watch here is, I think, the language. Right? This is the stage we're in right now of all the parties involved. We haven't heard President Putin come out and speak. Medvedev has said something. Lavrov has been in touch, a foreign minister of Russia, with his counterpart, Secretary Kerry. But the president was clear not to use Cold War language. We were speaking with Willem just a second ago about the reaction of people on the streets in Kiev. From Washington, there's a great effort not to couch this in terms of a zero-sum game Cold War dynamic. I think, just to pivot off a point made a second ago, the key here is how quickly can the U.S. and European allies look at shoring up the immediate problems we have in Ukraine that could lead to further instability. And that's both assistance diplomatically but also financially in a short-term period that would bolster a longer-term IMF program.